Do you remember the first story that was so spellbinding that it drove you to break the rules and stay up all night? To keep reading, keep listening, keep playing? So good you forgot your life and lived there?
So good that the moment it ended, you asked yourself, what next?
Welcome to the floor. Our goal is to take you back, take you deeper, to explore and understand more, and relive that childlike wonder.
Join us as we dive deep into humanity's greatest stories, no matter how they are told, through books, movies, television, even games.
One of us does an in-depth research on our topic. One of us is familiar with the topic.
And one of us knows nothing. So the right questions will always be asked and will be addressed for anyone coming into the topic, regardless of how much you know.
Enjoy another world, another adventure, another spellbinding story. Join us on the floor.
Welcome back to another Eberron episode of the Mage Punk campaign setting of D&D. And we are back in Dragonmarks and back on House Jorasco. So if you haven't heard our earlier episodes of such, you should go check them out before this episode. And Joe will be our expert. Aaron is our know-nothing. And I am our amateur.
Yes. Okay. So we have been talking about kind of the culture behind it. We talked about where it came from, how it evolved into what it is, how they kind of maintain their monopoly on healing as best they can. We talked about how they created insurance in Dungeons and Dragons. And so as a way to make money when you're not sick, like they are just all about making that coin.
I did hear that they're more than happy to trade in favors, right? If they save your life and you can't pay, they'll be like, it's fine, you can't pay. You can pay us in a favor later.
Oh my gosh, is this just the law of surprise translated into D&D?
So, well, I know they have an oath where they are supposed to take money that came out of that. But I think this is more the higher political things where they're like, you know, if I think I can get a big political favor that is of more value than the coin you would have. But like I said, they do, particularly at the lowest levels, like there's a straight up oath they have to take where they are required to take money first.
And maybe I'm referring to an earlier edition, right?
Oh,
like
that's possible. Yeah.
Or they could be some that broke off, right?
So, well, we will talk about it. So we are going to be talking about a lot of different people with the Jorasco bloodline and Dragonmark. And like I said, some will be members of the house, some won't. And the reason we will talk about these individuals is kind of a way of exploring different aspects within the house, what, you know, some of the things they do, and some of the various political positions they have within or without the house. But all of these people are Dragonmarked with the Dragonmark of Healing. So that's where we're at. We talked about the big leader, Ardres De Gerasco. We talked about her. But now we're going to be talking about a lot of other people that have the Dragonmark of Healing, like I said. And the reason we talk about these individuals is to give you a better understanding of all the different things they do, when, why, and whatnot. So,
and Ardres was like fancy pants or something?
Yeah, we talked about how she's very fancy, but that's also kind of the House Jorasco thing, right? They like to pretend they never rode the raptors, right?
Yeah, I still remember
right,
that.
Right. They kind of erased their history of that.
Not kind of. It is erased. Like all record of them as nomads wandering the plains doesn't exist, right? You know, I mean, like the only reason we know House Jorasco comes from the Talenta Plains is that's where halflings come from, right? Like if you say, were your ancestors like barbarians on the plains? Be like, no, we were never there. You can't prove that we were.
And you just somehow lost your subscription to being healed because of that abhorrent question.
So, yeah,
and I'm sure they'd come up with other things that they came from, right?
Yeah.
You know, rather than just saying no, they're like, no, and
yeah,
and have created their own.
But you also have the humans of Karnath, who have their records showing when they first encountered House Jorasco on the plains of Talenta. They're like, you may have destroyed your records, but we still have ours. We know where you come from.
Kind of a counterintelligence operation there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just like that's not those aren't our ancestors. Those are someone else. We came from somewhere else. We're a different group of halflings.
okay, so the first person we're going to talk is Ardres De Gerasco. So we have talked about the D before Gerasco as evidence that they are associated with the house, right?
Right. But also that they're the royalty of the house, right?
No, just that they're affiliated with the house. So you could meet some guy in like some tiny little town with a little healing shop, and he can be D Gerasco, which means he is affiliated with the house, right?
Whereas with Jorasco, that's just a name. I'm not affiliated with the house.
I'm not affiliated with the house. And and that is a deliberate choice. If you meet a Jorasco, they want nothing to do with those other halflings. Right? Yeah. They have pulled the D for a reason.
They ride raptors, they don't dress as nicely, they just I'm just kidding. I don't know.
So Ardres De Gerasco. So we've talked about the day of mourning multiple times because it's a major event in shaping the world. So after the day of mourning, there was this gray mist that surrounded the nation of Syre where the explosion occurred. And it sickens people, right? So if you try to pass through it, you need some kind of protection or you'll get sick and die. But there were also a lot of small
So this
farms.
is like the perimeter of the Mournlands, right? The one that Aaron was like, can you just fly over it?
So, yeah. But there are also like a lot of small villages and farms that were on the edge of Syre, now the Mournlands, that were infected by all this who, didn't have any involvement in the war or anything. So Ardres was from a small town near the Mournlands, and a lot of people he knew growing up became sickened with this mist. And the normal healing powers of House Jorasco didn't work on it. And so he is investigating how to cure this strange disease. And so he kind of represents a group of people that there are diseases and ailments that they encounter where standard healing doesn't work. And so he eventually works in experimental medicine where they're trying to find cures and treatments for things that you can't cure easily with the spells and whatnot. So
interesting. And what was his name again?
Ardres De Gerasco. But like I said,
Ardres.
He specifically is not majorly important, but he's to illustrate that there is a wing of House Jorasco where they do experimental, testing of magics and potions and everything.
And all of these testings are 100% FDA certified.
Total. This is House Jorasco. You know how they roll.
Yeah.
They're like, we can heal your broken arm, but you will be required to take part in our testing program. But the healing will be free for you.
I don't think it's the broken arm. It's more like the terminally ill. Like you have this weird poison, whatever that happened to you, and you're probably going to die in a month. So we're going to heal you in return for your services. But we're hopefully going to heal you.
Drink this. We hope you don't die today.
There you go. It's like we might not.
But essentially what you're saying is the spell cure disease does not cure this ailment.
This one specifically, but there are others across Eberron, right? That they are, experimenting with and trying to find cures and treatments for. Okay. So the next one we want to talk is Ardres De Gerasco. And he is head of the Healing Guild in Sharn. So he's in very high position. Sharn is the biggest city in the whole continent. So this is like being the head of, I don't know, in New York. Like
yeah. Mayor of New York.
Well, he's like the number one doctor in all of New York, right?
Yes, and the mayor of New York is obviously number one doctor.
the number one doctor. So he's like the number one doctor in New York, but he's also like administering. So he's in charge of all the other doctors of New York is how you'd compare this, right? So So he's really big in all of this, but he is often used as the example of how cutthroat and just money grubbing some of the Jorasco can be. And so whenever people talk about like how terrible it is and their monopoly and how it's ruining everything, this is the guy they quote and this is the guy they talk about. And so here is his famous quote: "Time alone will not heal your friend. I would very much like to help him, but I am bound by my oath. Do you wish to pay now, or shall we wait and see if the wasting curse ravages his form further?
Oh, it's a wasting curse, huh?
So,
Well, I just mean that quote in general is just ouch.
yeah, that quote is so. Like I said, so he is definitive in his, maintaining the.
I am more than happy to help if you pay me.
If you pay me, yeah. Yeah, so like I said, Ardres De Gerasco, this healer of the largest city, is also evidence of just how bad it can be.
I'd have to check. Maybe I'll mention it next time. But I think the wasting curse is demon fever.
Demon fever. So,
yeah.
like I said, that's just what he references in the quote.
Right.
But yeah, he's just the whole point of the quote is I'm regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
I am more than happy to help. I would love to help. I can help. I'm clearly number one at it. In exchange for money.
In exchange for money. So, yeah. So, the next one we'll talk about is Genocide De Gerasco. And she also lives in Sharn, but her specialization is animal healing.
She's the vet.
Yeah, she's the vet. And I wanted to bring her up because it was something I had never considered that they could do, was that they can heal the animals as well. And so they can work as not only healing people, but as veterinarians, maintaining livestock and everything. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought of that when I first thought of House Jorasco and the healers.
Right, which totally changes their economic standing again, right? Like that's a whole field.
That's a whole field, yeah. Yeah.
They can monopolize so much. If they can be
monopolize so much.
Like if they could do herbology too.
Well, they do. Like there are a lot of herbalists who work for House Jorasco.
But if they're just really good with plants, oh my gosh.
Oh.
They just got all the big three organisms.
So
humans, livestock, and plants.
Our business is in life, and that includes food.
Yes, that includes food. So
anything related to life is our business.
Yeah.
And you can keep yours in exchange for money.
In exchange for money. All right. So now we're going to pack Joe Jorasco. No D. He has no affiliation with the house. So
his name's Joe, and he doesn't like Jorasco.
No, Jode. Jode. Jode.
Oh.
So there is a D.
There is. Very funny. So he is Jorasco. So he has the Dragonmark of Healing. Well, I guess not all Jorascos do, but they have the bloodline, right? So any of their children could. But yeah, so he did manifest the Dragonmark of Healing, but he claimed no affiliation with the house. He did not like the way he saw healers doing things. He did not like, the mandate that you have to take money, that you can't just heal someone who needs healing. No, he did not like any of this. And so
he's a good guy.
So he
left. Go that far.
He left House Jorasco, and this was before the last war, and so he joined the Guard of Sire, and he wanted to be a soldier. So while he had the Dragonmark of Healing, he was a soldier because that is what he wanted to do. However, he healed as many people he could after the battlefield, right? Like so.
And what's the Guard of Sire again?
Just like they're soldiers who protect things in their army, right?
Okay.
But and so like he just was very much opposed to their whole philosophy on healing. And he, his idea is like we should just be everywhere doing the things we want to do, and we can heal those around us all the time. And he says if you earn your money not healing people, then you can heal people for free.
Oh, okay. So he sets up a free practice?
No, he doesn't set up a free practice. He's a soldier, and then he heals the people who needs it around him for free, right? Because being a soldier is how he makes his money.
Well, he doesn't heal all of the people who need it around him. He, like the other team. Doesn't get his healing for free. He probably charges them something.
But that was his philosophy and his approach to being Dragonmarked with Healing is you just go out and you have a different profession. And then you heal people around you for free as they need it. And you don't have to charge them because you make money doing something else.
Okay.
Let's take a break.
Okay, so we have been mentioning at the end of our episodes recently about the treasure room, how, as Aaron likes to describe it, in the floor we go deep into things, but in the treasure room we kind of go wide. And we wanted to give people who have never been in the treasure room a little bit of a sample. So going forward, we'll probably be putting in little bits and pieces here. So here is a small clip from the treasure room. We hope you enjoy it and are interested in learning more in there. So there is a torture scene where they're torturing him, and he passes out, and then they bring in a doctor to revive him, and then they keep the doctor around in case he dies, and they bring him back.
Yeah, that's literally what I imagine when the mob and House Jorasco got together. That's what I picture. It was like having one of those guys with you, just no matter what. Just man, we gotta get the doctor in here. It's like, oh, you're gonna heal me? Well, yeah, just enough so you don't die.
Now,
like, House Madani has its way of getting secrets. We have ours.
I don't have any secrets. That's okay. You have limbs. So we've been talking more about House De Gerasco, and we've learned that it is taught, well, we already knew this, that it is taught to take money before you heal, but there is a guy named Joe who has decided that he will commit murder in exchange for healing you. So it's kind of like alchemy, where you just exchange life for life or whatever. So he kills someone else and gets paid for it, and then now he will heal you. So instead of having to pay money, he'll just kill someone, and then he'll heal you for free.
I don't think it quite works that way, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, I feel like that might be worse, in my opinion.
Right, but like to be a soldier doesn't necessarily mean you have a gun.
Yeah, he could have been in charge of logistics.
Right, he has a sword.
Right, he could have been the quartermaster. Right, he never fights anybody. He just hands out food.
I don't know. I feel like you say the word soldier, and it doesn't sound like quartermaster. Those words are different.
Well, like a good example Keith Baker likes to use is there were soldiers, and their job was just to supply ammunition. They didn't have guns. They just ran around giving people ammo. Right, that was their job. They're a soldier. They're not a soldier with a gun, but they're contributing too, because to supply a large army, you need support staff.
Yeah.
Well, so is he support staff then? Is that?
We don't know what his role was specifically.
Okay, expert.
He's running around healing people.
He's healing people for free, and then he's getting paid for something else. If he's getting paid for healing, then he's not doing the thing he wants. The whole point that Joseph said was he is a soldier, and he gets paid for that, and then he can heal people for free. If he's just getting paid to heal people, he's not healing people for free. Economy doesn't work like that.
I see what you're saying.
He's got to do something. I want to know what he does. You brought him up.
If I'm a general and one of my soldiers can magically heal everybody superior to everyone else, he's the medic.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is he's getting paid to be the medic, so he's not doing the thing Joe said he was doing.
So
I'm agreeing with you.
I don't know what his role was specifically.
But the way he was introduced was he heals people for free and he gets paid for this other job.
Yeah.
No, he's not working for House Jorasco. He's working for an army under.
I know that. That's the point of what he was saying, though, was he gets paid for free, or he heals people for free.
He has a different
and he gets paid
job
for this job. He doesn't get paid to heal people. That's what was said.
So I'm going to assume he didn't, even though you'd be like, "Hey, you could be our medic." Be like, "No, I don't get paid to heal."
Because that's
people.
more of a technicality, like with the way you introduced him as just like swearing off, like being paid to heal, and then just like, I still get paid just by someone else.
I feel like Eli's calling it technicality, and I feel and it doesn't go into this, but I feel like because that was his philosophy. I have a profession that pays me and I heal people for free. I think he would refuse to be the medic. He's like, no, I don't get paid to heal people.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I think he would have taken that moral stance. Be like, when I am done being a soldier on the front line, I'd be happy to heal as many people as I can after. He says, but I don't get paid to heal people. I don't think that is how the world should be. Right.
Okay.
So then he just murders people instead, or delivers ammo. That one was actually, I think that's probably more likely.
So, or he could have been like a scout because he's little. He can get into small places.
Might ride a raptor around. You never know. Pretty quick.
So, but yeah, so that's Joe Jorasco and that different philosophy. And like I said, he is to represent. There are a group of the family of Jorasco who believe in that same philosophy that he had. That we do other professions and we heal people for free who are around us and in need. It is not something we charge for. So.
It's not a following, but people who share the same ideas and beliefs. And
so I think the reason Jode gets brought up is he kind of starts that philosophy. There may have been people who kind of felt this way before, but now it's like, no. I follow the philosophy of Jode. We heal those in need whenever, and that's not how we make our money. So, all right. So Mala, her name. So this is Borrowmar, but she is of House Jorasco. She was born into House Jorasco.
What was the first words you said? Wait.
Mala. That's her first name, Mala.
But you said something else after that. That was confusing.
Borrowmar.
That's her other name?
Yeah, so she's married, and Borrowmar is her new last name. But it's a very important last name.
Borrowmar.
Borrowmar. So she, like I said, she was born into House Jorasco. She never manifested a dragon mark. And she is actually the daughter of Ulara, the Baron of House Jorasco, right? The lady in charge. This is her daughter. And so in the city of Sharn, right, the largest city, there is a secret organization of criminals run by halflings, the Borrowmar clan. And they are the most powerful criminal organization in all of Kovir. So Mala married the son of the head of the crime family. So the daughter of the head of House Jorasco married the son of the head of this criminal organization and formed an alliance between these two.
So the medical industry got married to
the mob.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The head of the medical industry's daughter married the head of the mob son. Yes. So that is why she is Mala Borrowmar and why that is important.
Yeah, that there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. So that grants House Jorasco a powerful connection to the underworld and a powerful tool in maintaining their monopoly over healing.
Right. This wouldn't benefit the people.
No. This is very much, if the healing hand of the Silver Flame opens a healing temple in Sharn, suddenly it's vandalized repeatedly. To the point that like we don't feel safe here. We have to leave. Be like, oh, that's a shame.
That's so weird.
Probably should have never come here in the first place.
And a big mob tactic is protection, right? You find somebody who has a business and be like, hey, I'm gonna protect you, so you should pay me. And if they're like, well, I don't feel like I need protection from anyone, you're like, well, you're gonna need protection from me, and I'm gonna do something bad for you, and then you're gonna need healing, and you don't want to be on the bad side of this, so pay me to protect you from me and anyone else.
Well, not only that, but I mean, I imagine this adds a new threat, that be like, if you cross us, no one will heal you. You will lay in the streets and bleed to death. Right? And
that bleeding will start because of our connections.
Well, no, it's the mob who do that, right? Like they stab you and they're like, and no one's going to save you. You just get to die.
Just like holding their head and slowly like laying them down. Just, you're going to die now. Like nope, you can push the button. You can ask for premium service. It's not coming. You don't get it.
Well, and I think House Jorasco is the only one who resurrects people. Right. So it's not only you're going to die, and there is no resurrection.
There's no coming back.
Cool. There's resurrection in the world, isn't it? It'd be
You're
too
out of
bad if
lives.
you couldn't
Right.
be resurrected because you're on
Well, and
the
that's an
list.
extremely expensive service. So that's the threat you make to a very wealthy merchant.
Uh-huh.
Be like, who's going to resurrect you? He'd like, I'm from Clan Borrowmar. You understand? There's no coming back from death.
Oh my gosh, this would be a terrifying HBO show. Does Clan Borrowmar ride raptors?
I don't know, but I imagine they would. Like, there's no reason they wouldn't, right? They don't have this. They're criminals. They're not claiming to be
High class.
high class. In fact, I distinctly remember a quest fighting Clan Borrowmar, and we did meet a few halflings riding raptors at the end.
Good.
Okay.
What was that, a campaign or was that DDO?
It's DDO, but it's based on a campaign, right? They pulled it from a book, a module.
I gotcha.
We should play more DDO.
So that's really high level stuff. But yes, we did fight halflings riding raptors in the Borrowmar clan.
That sounds fun.
So, but yes, so that is Mala Borrowmar, and why she is important, because she then connects these two powerful organizations. And
Yeah, that's like Coca-Cola and Tesla or something. I don't even know. Just like, two big corporations I thought of. It's probably not like that. There's probably two better ones.
was it Humera, the insurance company?
Humana?
And the mob, right? Humana and the mob. They're like, we're gonna work together. Be like, no, don't work together. Be like, well, we have now eliminated all of their insurance companies. If you want insurance, you've got to come to Humera. Be like, wait, but you guys are like hooked up with the mob. Be like, just how it is. You know? Not like that, but I imagine trying to like fight a bill. Like, you didn't cover this, and your coverage says that I'm supposed to get coverage for this. Be like, I'm telling my lawyer, and then like a guy shows up, be like, we want to talk about your bill. You know, he's carrying like a
swinging a bat.
swinging a bat. Be like, we'd like this to go away.
Just slamming it into one hand.
Be like, and I can promise anything that happens today, we won't cover.
Yeah. So there's a stipulation. Tuesday the 17th, which is funnily enough today, you don't get coverage for whatever happens.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's what it's like. Humera and Humana.
Mob. But like the 1920s mob, because that was the mob. You know, the one with the Tommy guns, and they had the fast cars that just outstripped all the other cars. It was 1920s, 1940s. Around
the 40s when we were coming out of the Depression was the big mob era.
Yeah.
1940s mob, and somehow Humana was around then. That's what happened. All right, sweet. What are we talking about next episode?
Oh, we're done already? We are.
Exactly
Okay.
what we are.
There are we've got one more individual to talk about. You guys mentioned plants, and that's what we're going to be talking about in that one.
Right.
And then we'll talk about the Healers Guild, and we'll talk about a few of the functions of how magic works in Eberron and how that relates to the guild, and so some other things.
Sweet.
Get our hands on some actual applications.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we can play this game. We could play as the triplets who were born of what was her name? Molotov?
Sor Corel?
No, the lady who joined the two houses, the Jorasco and Borrowmar.
Mala?
Yeah. We could be like triplets, her triplets. Now we're like crime kids who have
Crime
marks.
kids.
Healing crime kids. I feel like that'd be a pretty fun
imagine
campaign.
getting tortured by those guys. They're like from House Jorasco. He's like, boom, stabs you in the heart with the knife, heals you. Be like, you're okay right now, but what about next time?
But they're just like so overpowered at it that they just like are like lazily doing it. They're like half watching you as they do it. You're like, oh my gosh. They don't even like give me their full attention while they kill me and bring me back. Rude.
Teenagers who are being grown to be doctors, but being taught by mobsters.
Dexter
Yes.
Doctors is basically what it is. You guys know the show Dexter?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dexter Doctors. That's what
Dexter Doctors.
That's what we'd be. I think that'd be fun.
All right.
All right.
We'll continue this in the treasure room.
Dexter Doctors.
If you enjoyed this episode and want more on the topic,
We record a special treasure room for our patrons after every episode. In the regular episode, we go deep. In the treasure room, we go wide. To enjoy the bonus content, sign up at the fluorite level or higher.
There is a treasure room for every episode from August 2021 and on. That's double the content. 2 episodes a week instead of 1.
Go to www.patreon.com/floor, fantasy and lore. That's floor spelled FLORE. Select the fluorite tier or higher. Immediately after each episode is released, the Treasure Room will post the bonus audio on Patreon. They are identified by the tag Treasure Room After and the title of the episode. You can also do a search for the keywords Treasure Room and find all the content you've been missing. Thanks for listening.
Leave us a review. Tell us why you like listening to us. Is it our awesome deep dives? Is it our amazing back and forth? Is it our charming good looks?
What would you like us to add or change? You can put that in the review as well. We read reviews.
Yeah, and if you're going to be leaving us a review telling us what you like about it, maybe you even want to share the content with your friends. Like and share on social media. You can join us on Twitter and Facebook. We post memes. And we actually started a Discord, so come play with us.
So a lot of the worlds we cover have a retcon. If you're not familiar with that term, it's reconstruction. Or sometimes we might use a bad source for some of our lore research. And if that happens, feel free to email us at floorfantasyandlore@gmail.com. That is floor spelled FLORE, fantasyandlore@gmail.com. And if you're angry enough, we'll read it on the air.
Yes, we will. Also, the Treasure Room is now available. We have locked a few secrets for everything we cover in there. And each week, we add more.
And you can find the Treasure Room on patreon.com/floor, fantasy, and lore. And how do you spell that, Aaron?
That's lore with an F at the beginning. So it sounds like floor, but it's not the floor you're thinking because it's our floor.
We hope you enjoyed your time on the floor. Think about your favorite part of the episode. Now, think about your nerdiest friend. Who is it? What is their name? They want to know about the floor. Stop holding out on them. Go and tell them about your favorite part.
Because all of this is more fun together.